It's time to Let's Talk. All right, so there's a new video that has been getting some traction. IGN put up a gameplay trailer. I really hate to call it gameplay. I really hate to call it a game at all. It's more or less an experience. It's like a documentary with we've seen so many documentaries over the course of many decades, between movies, whether it be music or now gaming as a medium. It has been covering a lot of different wars and political matters and such. And this one is no different. It's getting some controversy from some people that are on certain sides of political spectrums. And there is other people that are just really, all of the people that grew up with, military games that were set in either like a World War II setting, a World War I setting, a Cold War setting, even modern warfare, as you know, Call of Duty and modern SOCOM, Call of Duty, and Battlefield have all touched upon modern war zones and modern war tech, and just the era of those types of, even the latest, second to latest Call of Duty back in 2019 with Call of Duty Modern Warfare, which was a remake of Call of Duty 4, which all the single player campaign stuff for both of those games and some Battlefield stuff and everything have all been set around real life operations, whether it be Operation Iraqi Freedom or the Benghazi situation and everything. So this is a very touchy situation with a lot of people that are here back home in the States, and then also soldiers that are overseas in the military, over in the Middle East. A big shout out to everyone that is serving. Thanks for your service overseas and being away from family and home and everything. Best wishes. Stay safe over there. Let's check out this trailer and see what all the fuss is about over this game. Or this experience, and let's hope that it serves up more of a, not a journalist thing, but just kind of a peer through a lens of what it's like being over there while you are in the red zone, as I've heard it called before. So anyways, let's get into this.
My name is Jason Kyle. I was a sergeant with Lima Company, 3rd Battalion, 1st Marines. On November 9th, 2004, I entered the city with 12 Marines plus myself. And by November 13th, I was down to 4 Marines and myself.
6 days in Fallujah recreate stories from the battle based on eyewitness accounts.
One squad has already walked down this alley, so we're just like walking down pretty confidently, and like these guys just open up.
There's one in the alley. There.
Trying to draw you out, maybe.
Got you. Alley looks clear. Go right. On it.
Yep. Trying to draw you out.
Suppressing fire.
That was the go command. One tap issues orders to your team based on what you're pointing at.
Some UI commands. And AI commands with UI.
While you flank.
UI icons. Ooh. Just real quick. So anytime that you see, like if you're playing Gears of War or a cover-based shooter, anyways. When you're shooting over the top, that's where they kind of get the whole thing of the gun being up top and everything is just to do a couple pot shots, lay down cover fire to then get into a position to be able to line up your shot to hit the target that is trying to shoot at you. Again, I've never been in the military or anything, but I was always growing up. I was in a military family, so I've heard a few things here and there. But I was always interested in seeing, how, the military operates and everything. So I've done some research into it. There was a point in time where I was thinking about going into the military, and then I was like, nah, I kind of would rather do some other stuff. But my gun. There's a reason why I always run the M4 in 1911.
Breach it. Open the door. On it.
The Go command makes it as easy to direct your team as it is to fire your weapon.
Go, go, go.
Man, if they did this with the headset, it'd be just like SOCOM back in the day.
The person who goes in first is never wrong. They have the most to fear.
And as soon as I walk in, I see a machine gun right in front of my face.
You don't
maybe
know,
10 feet,
yeah.
15 feet from me.
Every time we would go into one of those buildings, you never know what to expect.
You don't know the layout of the house until you get in there. And then you still don't know it until you go all the way through it.
Room clearing, house clearing, it's different every single time.
Marines and soldiers never knew what was waiting for them behind the next door.
Imagine even today, you know, over here in the States and everything, you see like SWAT teams and such when there is like an active shooter and all that, and you see SWAT teams use the exact same tactics of, you know, you line up against a building and you're trying to figure out where the shooter is and everything. Imagine over there though, there could be a landmine around any corner, behind any door. There could be, you know, anything. In any single room. Over here, and I think that's where a lot of the general public that don't really like to follow war stuff, because maybe it does trigger them or whatever, or they are a little too sensitive to be checking out war zone stuff. I don't think they really understand just how unsafe it is over there, and how much more clean it is over here, of just the fact of clean in the sense of there's not a bunch of, you know, like wired up traps or ambush points that are specifically made for, you know, whoever is coming into the buildings, just because, you know.
And if you want a realistic experience, neither can you. 6 days in Fallujah reshapes the battlefield every time you play. Each room, each building, even the entire neighborhood is generated procedurally. Every map is a new map. So just like actual combat, you'll never know what to expect.
So very interesting there too. And sorry, I keep pausing the video, but it's very interesting that they're doing this. So more games are starting to do procedural generated stuff. Returnal is going to be one that is going to be doing that. Hades is another one that does that. You never know which room. I mean, you get some of the same rooms, about 3 or 4 different rooms, but you never know which one you're actually going to be getting as you're running through. So what I'm thinking they're going to do with this is they're going to take maybe 4 or 5 blocks, because this game, I did look into a bit of history on this game. This game has been in the makings for a very long time. And the original concept version of this was taking satellite imagery. It's very similar to the way Microsoft Flight Sim does, and using satellite imagery to create, you know, square blocks and to create the map off from that. So what I'm thinking is they're probably going to take a few blocks and make each one of them into a map. And then the procedural generated thing will be like RNG, whether or not which one of those blocks that you actually get, and that will create the overall map that the engine will then render on the fly as you're walking. Just kind of a technical side of things.
You hear that?
It's good lighting technique. I'm really wondering what engine this is built on. If you notice the bottom right hand corner, it says pre-alpha sneak peek. So I want to say like it's Unreal Engine or something. Lucky you didn't get hit.
Get my back! Go, 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 go!
Definitely run on PC. Can tell off the camera movement.
My my son, he had his first birthday while we were in Fallujah. I wanted to take a picture. So I wrote "Happy Birthday, JJ" on a piece of cardboard and I held it up. That was the most difficult day I had there. It dawned on me, it's like, I can't die on my kid's birthday. And that's all I thought about all day long, was dying on my kid's birthday.
Very easy to play mind games with yourself like that. Especially when, you know, you're trying to survive.
Let's do this. I got this one. Room's clear. Good here. Come with me. Keep a lookout. Right.
Somebody's just in the room, possibly. Yeah, and now they're downstairs. Almost gives off like a Resident Evil 7 vibe, just the way it's, you know, but...
On our left! Who's there? Step out! Salim, nefsek!
So just think, you know, you have this Marine, you're amped up, you know, you got all this adrenaline going through, you kick that door down and it's like family of 4. And I'm talking to the dad, I'm like, dude, like, why are you still here? And he's like,
عن طريق التلفزيون طلع بوقت هذا اياد علاوي كان رئيس الوزراء قال ابو مصعب الزرقاوي
said Abu Sa'al
وراح احنا نهجم وناخذه.
That's why the people of Fallujah, when the battle started, they left. My family and my father's family got out. My father said, I will not leave. So old Fallujians? Yeah, think. It is shameful to leave their homes to be occupied. He said, I'm not leaving, I will stay. Even if I die here, I will stay. So I said, I will too. So I mean, it's nice that they're bringing the. So I've seen some people saying like there's no culture of the other side, you know, the other civilians' perspective. I think there is. You literally just seen it right there. So again, this is a little bit of a different one because this game has been in development for a long time, and not only that, but there is a whole thing of so. There's a lot of political stuff going on with this title. I have seen multiple takes and reactions from multiple sides of the political spectrum. From the veteran, put you kind of in the shoes of the situation, in a sense. Nothing beats actually being, you know, in the middle of the city with bullets flying overhead. Of course.
Okay, so this is obviously going to focus on what was known as one of the most dangerous parts of the battle in Iraq, which is the house-to-house clearances. So when they were clearing Ramadi, when they were clearing Fallujah, Mosul, Baghdad, it was house-to-house fighting. And that was the deadliest part for the Marines and soldiers in Iraq, was this just house-to-house.
myself.
I just want to stop right here and tell you how hard it is for veterans to share stuff like that. Especially the medium like this. That's true. I mean, the fatal funnel is a term that's used in the military all the time, where, you know, the first person in is going to be the one that has the most to fear because they don't know what they're walking into. They don't know what they're getting into. But it's interesting how they're using a lot of military terms within here, which is nice because they're trying to stay true to telling the story of the veterans, and also, you know, deal with real stuff and how military interacts and how they move.
Piece of cardboard and I held it up. That was the most difficult day I had there. It dawned on me, it's like, I can't die.
That's rough. That's hard, man.
And that's all I thought about all day long, was dying on my kid's birthday.
That's interesting that I chose to share that, because that's true, right? When you don't think about the people at home, you don't really think that much about your daily missions. When you start thinking about family and stuff like that, it changes your perception. You know, when you think about something the entire day, especially because of family and how much you miss them or haven't seen them, you know, that could make for one of the longest days that you've had the deployed. But it's interesting. I'm glad they touched on that subject. I'm hoping they dive more into that. But again, my hat goes off to the veterans who are telling these stories. I know it's not an easy thing to do.
And also trying to look out for civilians while doing your job of trying to liberate a city that is taken over by terrorists. And then I've heard also on another side of things of other people going on about.
I thought, yeah, they're showing real footage, dude. I don't want to fuck with this. Bro, they're literally showing actual ISIS footage. This is like one step removed from showing fucking beheadings. Who the fuck thought this was an appropriate thing to show? Are you insane? They actually have like... Oh, and then the rest of it is like a video game footage, I think.
So with all the hot takes and everything, and then of course we have stuff like this where it's a petition, sign intends to normalize and trivialize the murder of my fellow Iraqis. No, it's not. It's not about the murder of Iraqis. It's about the situation that is over there. And I think a lot of people, so you always hear this about wars and stuff, and how, again, I'm trying not to like step on any political toes while doing this, because I have to pick my words very carefully, or I mean, either which way I go about it, one side or the other is going to get upset about whatever is said. But I will say this: it's a game that is to showcase and to help you understand what it's like being in the middle of a city that is war torn by terrorists. And the terrorists are not the civilians, and that is the key part of what everybody is trying to complain about the game for doing, of just basically making an interactive experience that is just depicting the mass shooting of a bunch of civilians, which is not the case at all. You just seen in the gameplay, if it was down to that, then the two civilians at the end of the trailer would have been shot. Instead, it's not about that. It's trying to get them to safety and try and shed light of like what was happening over there. This, it was back in 2003, 2004. It was a different administration back then with the Bush administration and everything. We had 9/11 happen a few years prior, and there was a lot of tempers that were hot going into Operation Iraqi Freedom. I remember hearing a lot about it and seeing a lot about it in the news and such. And we have had games and movies, as I said, be brought up by it. Now it's Highway consists of former Halo and Destiny developers. That's interesting. So yeah, Konami was a part of this project way back, and described 6 Days as a survival horror game, but not in a traditional sense. The fear of 6 Days does not come from undead or supernatural. It's the unpredictable, terrifying, and real tactics. So that part, this whole scene right here, you walking into the room and everything, this reminds me a lot of the Modern Warfare mission, where you're going through the building and room clearing, and you don't know what's around the next corner. And I just thought that was such a... I've seen some videos, like there's a baby in one of the rooms, and somebody goes up and does use a knife, and basically what it does is it does a game over screen, and it says really, something like that. It's like the developers being like, really, you're gonna do this? Grow up. And I thought that was handled really well on Infinity Ward's part of giving that message. But again, this right here is just like, they are... If this game was all about destroying everyone and just going Call of Duty style, just wiping everyone out, it would have been shots fired right as soon as you seen the target. No, these are not targets. these are the people that, you know, you're trying to figure out what is up with them. Until they make a move to create themselves into targets, they are not targets. They are civilians. These are the people that you are trying to get to safety, basically. Very interesting little gameplay sneak peek that they did there. It'd be interesting to see going forward just what everybody's reactions are to more footage of it and everything. But yeah, I definitely, I'm gonna keep an eye on this one. I actually been really wanting something like a SOCOM or a Melivar, something that is modern day, but you know, telling more modern day stories. I know that is really hard to do, especially with the current political landscape and the current administration and everything. There's a lot of stuff that they can't really tell in stories because not enough time has passed, and there's still political agendas on the table that, you know, whatever the political party may be, they are just, you know, they're still trying to keep those political agendas alive and working with other countries using those agendas. So it's gonna be very interesting going forward to see, after the reaction of 6 Days in Fallujah, if we can get maybe a SOCOM or a Melivar, or if we have to just stay with World War II and World War I, Cold War and such. Boy, it's going to be, or made up wars also, you know. There's been a few games where it's like a made up war, just to be like a what if war, basically. But modern warfare stuff, when it pertains to current day situations, a lot of times it triggers a lot of people and gets all the political talk going. So that's this is going to be one to watch. I just hope that other developers are not bullied into canceling projects that they might have had planned, and that people can grow up just a little bit and basically not take stuff at face value, but actually dive into the game or into the experience and figure out that it is not just a video game. It is trying to give you a lesson about, here's what the reality is of it over there, and maybe also show some more respect to active duty, you know, troops and everything. So yeah. Anyways, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for stopping by, and as always, I will see ya next time.